everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got some 1961 Milwaukee Braves baseball. We got the Chicago Cubs traveling to Milwaukee to take on the Braves. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the Cubbies. Leading off, playing center field is Al Heist. Batting second, playing second is Don Zimmer. Batting third, playing third is Ron Santo. Batting fourth, playing right field is George Altman. Batting fifth, playing left field is Billy Williams. Batting sixth, playing first base is Andrew Rogers. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is Jerry Kendall. Batting eighth doing the catching is Dick Portell. And batting ninth on the mound for the Chicago Cubs is Jack Curtis. Let's take a look at the Milwaukee Braves starting lineup for today's game. Leading off, playing center field is Gino Comilla. Batting second, playing second is Frank Boland. Batting third, playing third is Eddie Matthews. Batting fourth, playing right field is Hank Aaron. Batting fifth, playing first base is Joe Adcock. Batting sixth, playing left field is Frank Thomas. Batting seventh and doing the catching is Joe Torre. And batting eighth, playing shortstop is Roy McMillan. And on the mound, batting ninth is Warren Spahn doing the pitching for the Braves. Let's get down here to Milwaukee County Stadium, folks. Get this game started. Al Heist is up to bat, batting .303 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs on the season. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Frank Boland. Frank's up with it. He's going to fire over to Joe Adcock, and that'll be the first out of the game. And here we go now with Don Zimmer. Don's hitting .214 on the year with 6 home runs and 27 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Spahn's first strikeout of the game. Quick 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Ron Santo. Hitting .275, 17 home runs and 63 RBIs on the season. And that's going to be a pop-up on the infield. And McMillan wants it, and that'll be 1, 2, 3 goes to Cubbies. We go to the bottom of the first. We got Gino, Boland, and Matthews due up here for the Braves. Gino's hitting .205 on the year with no home runs and no RBIs, folks. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be hit down the short. Kendall's up with it. Fires over to Rogers at first for out number 1. And here comes Frank Boland now. Frank's hitting .290 on the year, folks, with 15 home runs and 72 RBIs, and he's going to try his hand down at short also. But Kendall's up to the task. 2 ground balls down the short and 2 outs. Here's Eddie Matthews trying to get over that 300 mark. He's hitting .289, folks. 20 home runs, 77 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball in the left field. Billy Williams is out there today. Makes the catch, and 1, 2, 3 goes to Braves. So we go to the top of the second with no score. We got Altman, Williams, and Rogers. George is batting .334 in the year, 17 home runs, 71 RBIs. And that's going to be a pop-up. And again, McMillan says he's got it and does for out number 1. Here's Billy Williams. He's batting .260 with 20 home runs, 56 RBIs on the year. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. The first hit given up by Warren Spahn. Billy's going to make the turn at first, but hold up with a single. Brings up Andy Rogers. He's batting .269 with 6 home runs and 25 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Rogers. And he gets a hold of this one off of Warren Spahn, folks. And that ball is hit hard into the gap in right field. And Billy Williams is going to score, folks. And the Cubbies are on the board. And it is 1-0, Chicago. And now Rogers down at second with 1 out. That brings up Kendall, batting .211 on the year. Here's the pitch to Kendall. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And the runner will go down the third. So now there's 2 outs, runner on at third for Mr. Bertel. And Dick is .260 on the year with 1 home run, 23 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball in the left field. Frank Thomas is out there today for the Braves. Makes the catch. But the Cubbies score 1 on the double by Rogers. And take a 1-0 lead. 007 is in the house. Check out his great channel, folks. He's been doing inside pitch on his channel. Check it out. We got Aaron, Adcock, and Thomas due up here for the Braves. Down by 1 now. Hank's batting .304 on the year. And that's going to be a pop up on the infield. Kendall down at short makes the play for out number 1. Here's Joe Adcock. See if he can get on base here for the Braves. Batting .274 on the year. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Kendall fires the ball way over Rogers' head. That ball's in the stands. That's going to be a 2-base error. So Joe Adcock, 1 out, standing down at second for Frank Thomas. Tying runs in scoring position, folks. Frank's hitting a disappointing .245, 17 home runs, 52 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. Is that going to be deep enough to get Adcock's over the third? And it is. So Joe tags up. He'll head on down the third, but now there's 2 outs. Joe Torre at the plate. See if Joe can get something going. Joe's hitting a disappointing .236 on the year. 6 home runs, 29 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. He'll fire over the first, and that'll end the inning, folks. So the Braves leave Adcock down at third, and the error doesn't cost the Cubbies. We go to the top of the third. It's still a 1-0 Cubbies lead. You got Curtis due up and then the top of the order, and Heiss and Zimmer. Jackson batting a .070 on the year. So we drop the dice. And that's going to be a base on balls, not what you want. Walking the pitcher. So Jack's down at first with nobody out for Al Heist. He grounded out the second his first time up. That's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Old Gino's out there today. He makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Don Zimmer. Can the Braves get a double play ball out of Don? He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be popped up behind home plate near the screen. Joe Torre makes the catch. That's 2 outs now with Curtis still down at first for Ron Santo. And he's 0 for 1, popped up to short. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. A big strikeout by SPAHN, his second one of the game. Curtis gets stranded at first with the leadoff walk. We go to the bottom of the third. The Cubbies with that 1-0 lead. We got McMillan, SPAHN, and back to the top of the order in Gino. Roy's only hitting .205 on the year, folks. But they walk him. Again, the Cubbies shaking their head, walking a guy hitting .204, .205. Brings up Warren SPAHN. SPAHN batting .210 on the year with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. The question is here, do we bunt? Do we bunt or do we let Warren hit away? I think early in the game here, down by 1, we're going to bunt. Here's the pitch to SPAHN. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. And that is going to be and that's a nice bunt. And Dick Bertel grabs the ball. And that's going to be an E2. see if I read this right. Maybe not. Sorry, I read that wrong. It's not an error. That's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. And Curtis is going to tag out SPAHN himself. And the runner will get down to second. Nice bunt by SPAHN. So now we got Gino up with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. He grounded out the third, short his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Now there's 2 outs with McMillan down at second. Can Frank Boland come out with a 2-out base hit here to get the Braves tied? He grounded out to short his first time up. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. And he drives that ball into deep center field. It's rolling around out there. He's rounding second. And that brown-eyed handsome man's got himself a triple, folks. And the Braves tie this game up. It's 1 apiece. Runner down at third for Eddie Matthews, who flew out the Billy Williams his first time up. Can he give the Braves the lead here, folks? And no. It's going to be a fly ball out to George Altman in right field. That'll end the inning. But the Braves score 1 and tie this game up. We go to the top of the 4th. Altman, Williams, and Rogers due up for the Cubbies in a 1-1 game. George popped up the short his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. Joe Adcock's going to take it himself for out number 1. And brings up Billy Williams. Billy's 1 for 1 with a single and scored. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Billy trots on down the first with 1 out. Hey, Bernard. Check out Bernard Strom's channel, folks. Sports Replay. Here's Mr. Rogers. And he's in the neighborhood. He's 1 for 1 with a double and RBI. Billy at first. And he hits that ball in the right field, but hangs on his horse, gets over there and makes a nice catch. We're out number 2. Billy retreats back to first. Here comes Mr. Kendall. Jerry's 0 for 1, grounded out to the pitcher. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Warren's 3rd strikeout of the game, and that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1 apiece. We got the big boys due up. Aaron, Adcock, and Thomas. Hank popped up the shortest first time up. And that's going to be hit back to the mound, I believe. Or is it going to be down the first? That's going to be down the first. And Roger takes it himself for out number 1. Sorry, I was right the first time. My ball was hit back to the mound. We'll fix that. Give the right guy an assist. There, I thought it was hit back to the mound. I looked at the wrong fielding. So it should be a 1-3 instead of a 3-3. Fix that. There we go. Regardless, Aaron's out. Now old Adcock's up. And Joe is 0 for 1. He reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Joe's down at first for the 2nd time today. See if Frank Thomas can do something here with 1 out and a runner on at first. And Frank's 0 for 1. He flew out the right his first time up. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. That's a nice base hit in the right field. Joe Adcock will stop at second, though. So we got first and second and 1 out for Joe Torre. Can Joe Torre finally get off the snide here, folks? Like I say, he's only hitting .235 on the year. Put the Braves in the lead here. And yes, he can. That ball is hit into center field. And Joe Adcock, though, is going to stop at third with his speed, so he doesn't give the Braves the lead, but bases are juiced. 1 out for McMillan. Mac come through here. Not much speed on the pads, that's for sure. It'll take a heck of a hit to score Frank from second. Here's the pitch to Mac. He's walked his first time and scored. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And they're going to play back for the double play. And that ball's hit to Zimmerman. Over to Kendall. They throw over the first. Mac beats the double play. Adcock scores. Frank Thomas is down at third now, with McMillan at first, 2 outs for Warren Spahn, and the Braves take a 2-1 lead. Spahn has a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Let's see if he can do something, folks. Like I say, he's batting .210 with 2 home runs on the year, and he just gets under this one, folks. Pops that ball up in the short right field. Zimmer's out there, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But the Braves score 1, and it's 2-1 as we go to the top of the 5th. We got Burktail, Curtis, and Heist due up here. So the 8, 9, and 1 hitter. Dick's 0 for 1. He flew out Thomas his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down here in the 5th. Here's Jack Curtis now. Jack walked his first time up. And not this time, folks. That ball's hit down to Eddie Matthews. Easy play for Matthews. That'll be 2 outs. Back to the top of the order. And Al Heist. And he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second and flew out to center. And he's going to give center field another try, but Gino's there. Makes the catch, and 1, 2, 3 goes to Cubbies. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We got the top of the order due up here for the Braves. Gino, Bolin, and Matthews. Let's see if they can add some more runs here and give Spahn a little insurance. Gino's 0 for 2, grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a pop-up. And Kendall at short makes the play in the grass in left field for out number 1. See if Frank can get on for the big boys here. He's 1 for 2 with that RBI triple. And he gets a hold of this one and drives that ball the other way in the right field, folks. And Altman goes over, cuts it off. Frank will stop at first. Here comes the big boys with a runner on now. Matthews is 0 for 2. He's flown out to the corners. He's flown out the left, and he's flown out the right. And he's not flying out this time, folks. He beats out an infield hit. That's a slow roller down to first. And we got first and second for the hammer. Is it hammer time? Aaron is 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded back to the pitcher. So he's due here, folks. Here's the pitch to Hank. And that's not what you wanted here. That's going to be an infield fly. Rules in effect. Zimmer makes it official and catches it. And that's out number 2. So it's up to Joe Adcock here to add to this Braves lead. Joe's 0 for 1 with a walk. He reached on an error, so he's been on base both times. And not this time. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Curtis gets out of the jam with nothing happening. We go to the 6th. Braves with a 1-run lead. We got the top of the order, and Zimmer, Santo, and Altman, the 2, 3, 4 hitters up. Don's 0 for 2. Struck out and popped up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Mac. McMillan fires over to Adcock for out number 1. Ron Santos up now. Ron's 0 for 2. He's popped up and struck out. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. And that's going to be popped up in the infield. And Max down at short makes the play near the mound for out number 2. That brings up George Altman. And George is 0 for 2. He's popped up the short also and grounded out the first. And that's going to be a fly ball in the center field. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Cubbies. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We got Thomas, Torrey, and McMillan due up here in the 6th. See if they can add to this lead. Frank's 1 for 2. He singled his last time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Frank trots on down the first. That brings up Joe Torrey. And Joe is 1 for 2 today also. He singled his last time up. And he does it again, folks. That's a base hit in the right field. And George is going to stop at, Frank's going to stop at second. So we got first and second again. And nobody out. We got McMillan up now. What can Mac do this time, folks? Mac's 0 for 1 with that walk, and he's got a RBI on that fielder's choice. And that is going to be a single through short. And runners are going to advance just one base because Frank Thomas isn't going to make it to home. They're not going to try with nobody out and his speed. So bases are juiced for Warren Spahn, folks. See what Mr. Spahn can do. He's 0 for 1. Sacrifice bunt and popped up to second. Can Spahn bust this game open for himself? And that is a yes. That's going to be a single over first. And that's going to score 1. It's still going to be bases loaded, folks. Nobody out. How about that? Because we don't need no stinking DH. It is 3-1. And they're coming out to talk to Curtis. Let's take a look at this bullpen for the Cubbies. It's not much to talk about. So we'll get the bullpen up. They got Brewer up. They'll get a righty up also. So here's Gino. Base is loaded. Nobody out. He's 0 for 3. Cubbies are looking to turn 2 with Spahn down at second. Here's the pitch to Gino. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss by Curtis. That's the first out of the inning here, folks. So now there's 1 out for Frank Bowen. Cubbies, like I say, playing back, looking for double play. Frank's having a heck of a game. He's 2 for 3 with a triple, a single, and an RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. And that should be deep enough to get Torrey's home. And it is, and McMillan will tag up and head to third. So we got runners on the corner now with 2 outs. And the Braves up by 3. So you got Matthews up, Spahn at first, McMillan at third. And it's a 4-1 ball game. Here's the pitch to Eddie. And that'll end the inning, folks. That ball is hit down to second. He'll go to short way over to Kendall. But the Braves score 2, and it's 4-1 as we go to the top of the 7th. You got Williams, Rogers, and Kendall due up here in the 7th. Here's the pitch to Billy. He's 1 for 1 and a walk. And that's going to be another base hit for Billy. He's having a heck of a game. That ball's just out of the reach of Mac. Rolls in the left field. Billy's down there at first now for Rogers. Rogers has that double RBI double with Billy at first. See what happens this time with Spahn. And that's going to be a high pop up on the infield. And Mac makes the catch for out number 2. That brings up Kendall. And the Braves get a double play ball out of Jerry here. He's grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the 5th strikeout for Spahn. That's a big one. 2 down now for Burt. Let's see what Bertel can do. He's flown out and struck out. And that's going to be an infield hit. How about that, folks? The old catcher with an infield hit. So it's first and second. 2 outs here. Spawn flirting with danger. And they're going to pitch hit here for Curtis. That'll be it for him. See who the Cubbies are going to pitch hit with. See who they got on the bench here. First and second, 2 outs. They mostly got lefties on the bench. They don't got much righties. They're all playing in the game. They might call him Mr. Cub himself. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to call him Mr. Cubby. Ernie Banks to pitch hit here against Warren Spahn. They think this is their opportunity to get some runs here. So they're going to bring Ernie in here to pitch hit. And here's the pitch to Ernie. He's only hitting .234 on the year, folks, but he has 14 home runs and 61 RBIs. And that's not going to do this time. That ball is hit down the second. And it's a hot pop-up. And Frank Bowen makes the catch for out number 3. And the Cubbies leave 2 on, folks. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's still a 4-1 ball game. Got a bunch of righties coming up here for the Braves. See who the Cubbies are going to bring in the game here. It looks like it's going to be Dick Drout's going to come in here to pitch for the Cubbies. And Drout will be facing Aaron, Adcock, and Thomas here in the bottom of the 7th. Hank's 0 for 3. He's popped up twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a base on balls. Not what you want to see if you're a Cubby fan. Already trailing by 3. Here comes Joe Adcock up now. And Joe's 0 for 2. He's walked and scored. And that's going to be a pick off. They get Aaron picked off at first, folks. I don't know what he was thinking. Guess he wasn't. So now there's 1 out for Joe Adcock. Here's the pitch to Joe. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3. So all of a sudden this inning's changed, folks, with a leadoff walk. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Frank Thomas. Frank's 1 for 2 with a walk. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. Oh, wait a second, he's got the W. He's got the W, so that might be a walk, and it is. That's a base on balls. So Frank Thomas walks. How big's that pickoff now? That'd be first and second and 1 out. Here's Joe Torre now having a heck of a game. He's 2 for 3. See if he can keep it up here. Nope, that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And is he going to go the long way? He is. He's going to go the long way over to first. And that'll win the 7th inning, folks. We go to the top of the 8th. Chicago Cubs 1, the Milwaukee Braves 4. Got the top of the order due up here for the Cubbies. Heist, Zimmerman, and Santo. Al's 0 for 3, grounded out and flew out the center his other 2 times up. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Heist trots on down the first with a leadoff walk. Here's Don Zimmer. Braves looking to turn 2. Zimmy's 0 for 3. He struck out, popped up, and grounded out. And that's going to be a 2-ball, no strike count on Zimmer. And he walks the hard way. So back-to-back walks by SPAHN. That will definitely get the bullpen up. Ron Santos up now with the tying run at the plate. It's first and second. Santos 0 for 3. He's popped up the short and struck out. And he's going to pop up to the catcher this time. Torrey makes the play in foul territory. And that'll be out number 1. That's a big out for SPAHN. Here's George Altman now. And George is 0 for 3. He's popped up, grounded out the first, and flew out the center. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss. 2 big outs back to back. That's SPAHN's 6th strikeout of the game. He needed that one, folks. Brings up Billy Williams now. 2 outs. Billy's 2 for 2 with a walk. So this is not who you want to see if you're Warren SPAHN. Here's the pitch. And that's a deep fly ball to center field, but Gino's got just enough room out there near the track. Makes the catch, and the 2 walks don't come in the roost. How about that? Nice pitching around for Warren SPAHN. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. We got McMillan, SPAHN, and Gino due up. Here's the pitch to Mac. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. And that's going to be a fly ball in the center field. Al Heist has got that for out number 1. And here is the question. SPAHN had a shaky 8th inning. I think that's going to be it for Warren. We're going to pitch hit for him. And Don's going to come in and try to close this game out in the 9th. So he's going to come in here and pitch hit against Drought. And I think it's going to be Mac the Knife. Is it going to be Mac the Knife, or is it going to be Jones? It's either going to be Jones on the jukebox. I mean, May or Jones. I think we're going to go with Lee May. Let's give Lee May a chance to get on base here. And there's Lee. So there's 1 out and nobody on for May. Here's the pitch to Lee. He's batting .242 on the year. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Billy Williams, and that'll be out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. We're back to the top of the order. And Gino's up. And Lee might just stay in the game here. I think that's what's going to happen. Lee's probably going to stay in the game. For Gino. Here's the pitch to Gino. He's 0 for 4. And he's going to be 0 for 5. And we're going to do the old double switch. As that is a ground ball down the short. And 1, 2, 3 goes to Braves. So Mac's going to stay in the game. Gino's going to come out. And Don's going to come in. And I think Aaron's going to go over to, well, we'll probably, let's see here. See where May can play at. We'll probably move May in the right field. That's what we'll do. Move May in the right field and put Aaron in center. And Don's going to be the leadoff batter now. So we'll move Hank over to center field. And Lee will go in the right. On this double switch, plus we'll change the outfield around a little bit. All righty, let's see if Don can save this game for Warren SPAHN. He's got Rogers, Kendall, and Bertel up here in the 9th. Let's see if they come in with somebody else here off the bench. They got lefties on the bench. Let's see who they got here. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to pitch hit here for Rogers. Ed Broshy's going to come in to pitch hit. And he'll stay in the game if this game goes in the bottom of the ninth and play first. And Broshy's hitting 247 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Frank Boland. He's up with it. He's going to fire over to first for out number 1. So that's 1 down. And let's see here. We got Kendall up now. Ernie's already pitched hit. Do they have another shortstop? Or are they just going to be stuck with Kendall batting? Yeah, Kendall's going to have to bat because there's no other shortstop. He's 0 for 3. He struck out his last 2 times up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Matthews. He's up with it, and that's 2 quick outs here in the ninth. And that brings up Bertel, and they're going to pitch hit for Bert. And Sammy's going to come in to pitch hit. Taylor, and again, he's going to stay in the game if it goes to the ninth. And he'll stay in the catch. Where's Slam and Sammy Taylor at? There's Sammy. So the Cubbies are trying to put the lefties in this game here to get to Don. He's only batting 205 on the year, Sammy is. And he gets a walk out of the deal. Sammy trots on down the first. Doesn't have much speed, but right now his run don't mean nothing. So they're not going to pitch run for him yet down at first. They'll have a pitch hitter here for Drott. Let's see who's going to come out and pitch hit here. And I think they're going to bring on Ashburn's going to come on the pitch hit for Drought. Runner down at first for Richie Ashburn. So the Cubbies are pulling out all the stops here, folks. See what happens here. Can Don get his 26th save of the year? Cubbies are down to the last out. Richie Ashburn's hitting 338 on the year, folks, with 1 home run and 15 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. Lee May just came in the game to play right. He takes a few steps back, makes the catch, and that's your ball game, folks. The Braves win 4-1. Let's go to the box score here and check it out. And the Cubbies 1 run on 4 hits and an error. The Braves 4 runs on 8 hits and no errors. Billy Williams had 2 of the 4 hits for the Cubbies. He had a heck of a game. Like I say, I was a little worried when he came up there in the 8th. Cubbies were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position and left 8 men on base. Frank Boland had a nice game. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, so half the runs scored. Frank, drove them in on that triple. And how about Warren Spahn with an RBI single, folks? Braves were 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and the Braves left 9 men on base. Jack Curtis now 11-7. That's his 7th loss. He went 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, walked 3, struck out 3. Drought came in and pitched 2 nice innings, walked 2 and struck out 1. Warren Spahn goes 8 innings, gives up 4 hits, 1 run, walked 4, struck out 6. And Don comes in, picks up his 26th save. Warren's 12-5 on the year, folks. And Don comes in, picks up his 26th save, and pitched 1 inning and walked 1 batter. And we got just 2 games here in the National League. We got the Battle of Pittsburgh and Phillies for the Battle of Pennsylvania. See what happens here in Pittsburgh. Who's going to win this Battle of PA? You got Rockin' Robin going up against Bob Friend. And the Pirates win. The Phillies 3 runs on 5 hits and an error. The Pirates 5 runs on 10 hits and no errors. And the only other game in the National League is the Reds traveling out to San Francisco to take on the Giants. This is a battle for second place, folks. See what happens here. Got O'Toole going up against Marichal. Should be a heck of a pitching game. Watch it be a 15-0 game or something. And the Reds, like I said, shut out the Giants. 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. And the Giants, no runs on 3 hits and no errors. It was a pitching game, folks. Let's take a look at the standings now in the National League. And the Braves now are 2 games up on the Giants. The Reds are 6.5 games back. Cardinals are 10.5 games back. Dodgers are 11. Cubbies 13. Pirates are 14. And the Phillies are 27 games back. Look at those last 10 games, folks. Nobody's over 500. Ain't that something? Yeah, nobody is over 500 in the last 10 games. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. 5 teams at 500 and 1, 2, 3 teams under 500 in the last 10 games. Parity or mediocrity? That is the question. Clemente still leading the National League and Major League Baseball with a .364 batting average, folks. Willie Mays with 31 home runs. Cepeda with 95 RBIs. And Warren Spahn's got his ERA down to 2.53. And Jim O'Toole just picked up his 13th win. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 pitchers. You got Burdette, Jay, McCormick, and Spahn tied for second with 12 wins. And Don just picked up his 26th save of the year. You just seen that. So right now, Cepeda's still leading the National League in most valuable player votes. And Jim O'Toole just took over the Cy Young voting, folks. All righty, I want to thank Bernard Strom for stopping by, and 007. Check out those 2 great channels, folks. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. And on your way out of Milwaukee, hit that bell, the like button, and leave a comment. Y'all have a great day. Until next time, y'all take care.